The American government, of course, collects a lot of money, and we're told that liberals are in favor of bigger government, which I find to be ridiculous. Matt Stoller once had a great analogy about this that I use from time to time. Ask you a simple question. What kind of pipe do you need? Well, I don't know. It depends on the job, doesn't it? Of course! What kind of government do you need? Well, it depends on the job, isn't it? So we're not in favor of bigger government. We're not in favor of smaller government. It depends, right? You want to build a highway? You're going to need a slightly larger government. Do you want the government spying in on you? No, I want a smaller government in that case. So now one of the great ways that they have wasted our money with big government we are not in favor of is the endless wars. But built into the endless wars is another level of stupidity. It's when you combine the war on terrorism, whatever that is, with the war on drugs. Do you know that in the span of about a decade in Afghanistan, in order to fight opium production, we have spent, the American taxpayers, $7.6 billion. But we don't have money to feed kids, we don't have money to educate kids, we don't have money to give your kids a fair chance, but $7.6 billion flushed down the toilet. Now, why is it flushed down the toilet? Well, let's take a look at a chart of opium growth in Afghanistan. Oops! Oops, 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 oops. Turns out that it has skyrocketed. Not only has it not been cut, it has gone up exponentially. $7.6 billion totally and utterly wasted. You know how much money they make from opium in Afghanistan? Well, in 2012, they made $2 billion. That's a lot of money, right? Well, in 2013, they made $3 billion. How many industries in Afghanistan you think are making $3 billion a year? Let me clue you in. Not a lot. So the reality is you're never going to stop that industry. $3 billion a year in Afghanistan? Oh, they're going to grow that opium and they're going to sell that opium. You can spend all the money in the world and you won't be able to stop it. Okay? And especially not the way we're doing it, which is completely counterproductive. Now, when you ask the American government about that, they go, us? No, it's them, it's them, it's them. Don't blame me. Here's a quote from Assistant Secretary of Defense. The failure to reduce poppy cultivation and increase eradication is due to the lack of Afghan government support for the effort. The goddamn Afghans, it's all their fault. Okay, now, there's some truth to that. Hamid Karzai, who ran the country for a very long time, well, there's significant allegations that his brother is in the drug business. Oops. Well, then don't spend the $7 billion that way when you know his brother's in the drug business or you highly suspect it. And you know they're not going to do anything about it. They haven't done anything about it before. They're not going to do anything about it in the future. So why continue to pour the money in? Because somebody gets rich off that money. It's not like it goes nowhere. It goes into somebody's pocket, takes from the taxpayers, redistributes it, oftentimes to incredibly wealthy companies that don't do a goddamn thing with it. All right. Now, one last piece of excuses from all the people involved here, and let's give you a sense of how sad this all is. Din Mohammed Mobarez Rashidi, Afghanistan's acting minister of counter-narcotics, and Yuri Fedotov, the executive director of the UNODC, said that Afghan and American officials are making progress and that authorities seize roughly 10% of Afghan poppy production. First of all, how many times have we heard we're making progress? Still, we're making progress in Afghanistan? After you see the chart, you can still say we're making progress? Second of all, what are you bragging about? That you stopped 10% of the production? I'm not sure I believe that, but even if I did believe that, that means you haven't stopped 90% of it, which is growing exponentially. You're the worst. Now, again, this is terrible results for us, but it's not like mission wasn't accomplished. Believe me, people got very rich off of this completely unproductive and oftentimes counterproductive program where we wasted taxpayer money.